Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, whenever you are finding the time to watch this video. Hello, and thank you for coming back to my channel. I really do appreciate that. I wanted to follow up on my two videos that I've already posted regarding health and fitness and reaching your goals with that. So, I have talked about being intentional and pulling out your journal in my first video as it relates to health and fitness, being intentional, writing down your why have you, and my cat is here as usual, why have you been in the situation that you're in when it comes to not reaching your goals? Why do you think that is? What are your barriers? What is keeping you in that situation? And then writing your why as to why you want to change. You know, is it just for cosmetic reasons? And that's fine. And you just want to look good, or you want to feel good, or you want to improve your health, or maybe you're on a medication that you're trying to get off of. Whatever your why may be, whether it's to you know, just overall, just look better, feel better, more energy, because all of those things are great benefits to being in a healthy body, you know. So write down your why, because you're going to have to go back to that to remind yourself when things get rough, when you may fall off. You're going to have to go back and say, you know, why did I start this journey? Why am I passionate about this? Why is this important to me? So we talked about that. And then I touched on in my second video about meal prepping and how my husband and I, we go to the grocery store and try to, fill up on our groceries as far as like fruits and vegetables and lean proteins and so forth. And I wanted to kind of piggyback off of that and go a little bit more deeper into food shopping, because I know the grocery store can be it's just a place where everything is. You have the healthy stuff, you have the not so healthy stuff, you know, depending on how you want to look at it. Because I think there's a time and place for all foods. I don't think any food should be off the list, to be honest with you. I just think there's a time and place for it. And because I don't believe in like depriving yourself. I just believe in making good decisions in the moment that you're in, especially for the goals you're trying to achieve. So, and I'll get into that. But I wanted to go a little bit more deeper into meal planning. And I want to show you guys like how I do that in my planner. So I do have my planner here, and I'm going to try to pick this up on camera if it will. So this is an Annie printable, and I will link this below. It has a grocery list, and then it has a spot for meals. What I usually do on this side is I track my dinner meals, what I'm going to do as far as cooking dinner for the week. So for example, because that's my meal that my husband and I kind of commune on together. We sit down and have that meal together for the most part, because I work from home. So he is gone. I get up in the morning, I go to the gym. He is gone by the time I get home. So we don't have breakfast together. We don't have lunch together. We have dinner, you know, for the most part together. So that is my meal, or that is the meal of the day that I try to plan out for the both of us. My other meals, like my breakfast, I eat, and I will go into this probably in the next video as far as, you know, portion control and certain things, because that's going to be different for every person. But I eat every 3 hours, and that may be a lot for some people, but this doesn't have to be a huge meal. I try to portion control each meal and weighing everything out. And I wanted to start at the basics of meal prepping and meal planning, because I think some things that are very important for you to have in order to be successful is measuring utensils. And I'm talking about your cups, your half cups, your 1/4 cup, 1/3, the whole set. Measuring spoons and a food scale. These things do not have to be super expensive. I've seen food scales and measuring cups and so forth at the dollar store. You know, so I always try to tell people, you know, don't overthink something. Yes, pretty planning and all of this stuff is great, but you know, let's stick to the basics, because that's what's going to get you where you need to be. So you're measuring spoons, you're measuring cups. Those things are important, because that's what's going to, you know, when you look at a box or you look at the nutrition facts on a package and it says serving size, that's the serving size. That's the nutrition that follows below that is speaking to that serving size. So like I was talking to a guy yesterday in the gym, and he was talking about salad. And he was like, you know, what salad dressing do you use? Now, I do have my picks and chooses of the salad dressings that I use, or I'll make my own. But in his mind, you know, he was thinking it's a salad dressing. I'm just going to put it on salad. He wasn't measuring it out. And when you really think about that serving size of 2 tablespoons, it's 2 tablespoons. Now, if you want to go more than that, you have to be accountable for the calories and fat and so forth that's in the more. But the serving size is what's important. So when we say meal planning and meal prepping on Saturday and Sunday, that is sitting down, and it may be a chore at first. But mind you, isn't everything a chore at first? Do you know what I mean? Like whenever you start a new habit, you're like, oh my God, I got to do this again. So don't, keep that in mind. It's going to take time for you to become like, this is part of my second nature now. This is something that I do on a regular, because that's how it is for me. It's not a job. It's part of who I am now, because it's something that I do to prepare myself for the week. So anyway, measuring spoons, measuring cups, your food scale, lifesavers, okay? Because when it says 4 ounces or 5 ounces, that's what it is, and I think a lot of people, they know the basic of losing weight is more calories burned and more calories in, but they're not taking into consideration serving sizes. You think chicken breast and you think, oh, it's healthy, I'm just going to eat chicken breast. But how big is the chicken breast? Or how little? Because if you eat too little, you're not going to reach your goals either way. So those are the basics. I think that is super important. If you're someone who is leaving your home every single day, all day, I would also advise you to have your Pyrex or the plastic containers. I can't think of the name. Plastic containers. And I've seen these on Amazon for like, you can get a whole stack of them for a little, for $10, $12. So keep in mind of the things that are going to make you successful. It's the same thing with going to working out. You need a good pair of gym shoes. You don't need the most expensive pair, but you just need a pair. You may need some sweat clothes or whatever. Think of the basics. Don't think, oh my God, I got to go spend all this money on this new trend that someone else is doing right now. That's not where we're at. We're trying to make sustainable, lifelong changes that are going to make the biggest impact. And that if we do fall off, we know to go back to our basics. Okay, so we know we need a why. First, we need to identify why we're in the situation that we're in, because that's going to be key. You got to get out. You got to figure out, why am I here? Why am I stuck in this rut? Figure that out. Figure out your why as to why you want to make this change, because there are going to be, you may start off great and maybe losing all this weight at first, and then you'll hit a bump in the road and you're only losing like 1 or 2 pounds a month. And you're like, screw this. I don't want to do this anymore. You need to go back to that why. So we got our why we're in the spot we're in, why we want to make the changes, and then we're going to start looking at food in a way that we've probably never looked at food before. We're going to start measuring it. We're going to give it measuring, we're going to put it on a scale. We're going to make sure we're looking at our serving sizes. We're going to make sure we're, measuring out our creamer. These things are important, and that's what's going to help you reach your goals, okay? And then we're going to go grocery shopping. Well, we're going to go grocery shopping before that, but when we go grocery shopping, they always say the perimeter of the store is the best. When you're looking at the foods on the shelves, eye level and above. It's probably sometimes the bad foods because they're at the eye level and they know how to market to people. But you want to look at the nutrition facts. Sometimes that may take a while. You can't just run in the store and grab something and leave. You got to look at the nutrition. You got to see how many calories is that. And I always think to myself, I think of food as like a bank. Do I have this many calories to eat this? You know what I'm saying? Am I going to burn this many calories? Have I paid for this when the day is over with? So, sometimes you'll start to look at food like that, but you just want to be aware and be honest with yourself when you're making these decisions. You want to keep in mind your calories, your fats, your sugars, your carbs. You want to keep those things in mind because they're important. Sugar is everywhere pretty much, and it tastes good, but it's not always our best friend. And I always tell people, it doesn't mean you need to completely cut out everything. I do not believe in these deprivation diets. Yes, they will get you where you want to be, and they will get you there super fast. But guess what? As soon as you come off of that diet, as soon as you eat something that is not on that diet, it's going to come right back because you have not made lifelong changes. So, okay. So anyway, like I said, I sit down, I will write out, I'm trying to get that to focus, my dinners for the evening. I try to always keep my meals with a good source of protein. And this is for vegan, vegetarian, meat eater. I don't care who you are. You need protein. I don't think you can get sick from... I know there's an argument about malnutrition with protein. I'm not going to go into all of that. I just know you need protein. Let's just be real. Okay, so you need your protein, you need your veggies, you need your good carbs and good healthy fats. You need those things. So a typical dinner for me can be chicken breast, broccoli, some rice, brown rice or white rice, whichever you prefer. And you're going to find out things, or you will learn things that your body kind of can work with. And when I say work with, break down easily versus others. I'm not a white rice person because it makes me feel bloated. Brown rice or sweet potato, I do much better with. Or quinoa. You know, get creative. I love Pinterest for new recipe ideas. And print them out. Put them, you know, paste them or glue them in your... I just said paste. Oh my God, do we still paste? Glue them in your planner so you can always have those recipes at hand. Get you an old school recipe box. Write those things down. You know, I try to, you know, I'll run you guys through like a typical day for me. Oatmeal in the morning, some egg whites, tilapia. You know, I eat every 3 hours. I try to make sure that everything is balanced. I may have for my second meal some chicken breast or tilapia or ground turkey. Put a little, you know, seasoning on there. I try to use more Mrs. Dash than anything, or just low sodium or no sodium at all added seasonings. Some people you'll hear will argue, you know, you need sodium. I don't necessarily think so, because a lot of times the foods, different foods we eat, they have their own sodium already. You know, but that's something that you may want to talk to your doctor about, because high blood pressure and so forth. But I just try to be more balanced through my meals every 3 hours. Some of my meals are repeated throughout the day. Now, for some people that may seem like, oh my God, well, where's the fun in that? I do believe in cheat meals. I believe in, and I don't know if I should call it a cheat meal, because I don't know if I like the word cheat to me sounds kind of dirty, but just an indulgent meal, or just a meal where I'm able to just like let my hair down and not really be so concerned about, you know, oh my God, you know, how much does this weigh? Because I feel like you want to have fun with this, and you want to, you know, sometimes your body, I think, needs that too, needs that extra calorie boost, you know, maybe once a week or something to keep your metabolism going. Because when you eat, I've noticed this for myself. When I eat, you know, the very similar foods from day to day, my body kind of gets like I don't really notice anything on the scale. But once I have that, you know, night out on the town with my husband or my mom or something like that, you know, 2-3 days after that meal, I may notice a big change on the scale, because my metabolism is revved up a little bit. So, grocery shopping, stick to the basics, your measuring spoons, your measuring cups, your food scale. Food scale. So important. It's so important, I think, on a Sunday or Saturday night, or whenever you have the time, to sit down, wash your vegetables, wash your fruits, weigh out things. I try to cook for 3 days at a time, or 2 days at a time, where meals are already prepped. All I have to do is grab and go. If you're not someone for leftovers, you know, maybe a day at a time, if you have that amount of time in your schedule to put aside to prep your food. But I try to cook for at least 2 days at a time, 3 days, where all I got to do is grab and go. And that keeps me going. If you're someone who's leaving your house on a regular basis every day to go to work, or kids or whatever, get you a lunch bag or lunch box or something where you can have your meals available to you. Another thing that I want to bring up is water. Water consumption is so important. And I also want to add this to the basics. Water, adequate sleep, remove stress. Stress, oh my God, you know, I will admit I have a history of being an emotional eater. I know my triggers when I'm stressed or overwhelmed, and I just feel like I'm boxed in. I want to eat something, and it's usually something salty or sugary. But thank God for the planner community. I've learned to kind of channel that energy towards journaling, writing my feelings down, and not just using it as an excuse to go eat something, or pray or meditate in that moment to try to resolve whatever it is I'm feeling. So, you know, with this lifestyle, I've learned picked up different tools to get me through and to help me reach my goals. But basics are adequate water, And if you're not a water person, get creative with your water. Add lemon, add mint, add lime. I've even had water, they have those water bottles where you can put the fruit in the middle. I don't know what they're called. And then like maybe let it set overnight with the water. And so when you get up in the morning, your water has this strawberry, flavor or whatever to it. Have fun with this. This is your life. This is your body. This is your health. But yeah, basics, you're wise, being intentional, when it comes to the kitchen, measuring spoons, measuring cups, your scale, adequate rest, adequate sleep, relieving stress, adequate water, leaving alone the sugary sodas and drinks. I will allot myself a glass of wine when I go out to dinner, maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. Don't deprive yourself. Realize this is a journey. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to realize that certain things don't work for you and your body, and that's okay. That's okay. That's another thing. I've noticed this a lot with women. We tend to beat ourselves up when we don't, you know what I'm saying? There's so much pressure to be perfect. Perfect daughter, perfect wife, perfect mom, perfect body, perfect every damn thing. Don't beat yourself up. It's okay. This is a journey. And that's why I think planning it out, writing out those meals, finding out what works for your body and what doesn't, the fads and the trending things right now with all these teas and wraps and that stuff may work and it may get you small for that week or whatever your goal is, but I'm talking about lifelong change. I'm talking about this journey that you're on every single day with trying to make these healthy decisions in food when it comes to limiting the amount of stress in your life. Those things are important, and that's why I think fitness and health and the planner community or planning can really come into play. So when I sit down on Saturday or Sunday night to plan out my meals, I try to be as intentional as possible. Like I said, I try to make sure that my meals, I have a good protein source, whether that's egg whites or there's nothing wrong with eating an egg. If you choose to eat an egg, that can be controversial for some people. Like I said, you're going to find out what works for you. Chicken breasts, different types of fish. If you're not a fish person, and I'm not a red meat person. If you like red meat, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Try to go for more of the leaner option. Mind you, if you've been eating a certain way for so long, don't think that you need to just jump into this new lifestyle and completely forget about where you've come from. There are some things you're going to have to take baby steps with. And I think it's always great to write those baby steps down, because then you can look back over time and realize where you've come from. You may not be where you want to be, but you're not where you used to be. So I think that's super important. Let's see here. I know the next video that I make in this series of health and fitness, I'm thinking to maybe show you guys like what my grocery list like really looks like, or what a grocery haul really looks like. Me and my husband, sometimes we get a little sporadic and we will go to the grocery store, on a Monday or a Tuesday or whenever. So I'll have to make sure that I like kind of go through some empties and run out of stuff, and then show you guys like some staples in my kitchen. But I think those things are super important as far as the basics. I really appreciate you guys following me and watching this video. I don't want it to be super long, but I just wanted to come back and kind of piggyback off of, the food planning and so forth, and being intentional with your food and being honest with yourself with your food, because I just can't stress it enough how this is a journey and is not meant to happen and fix itself overnight. This is a lifelong This is what you're choosing to do. And I think it's super important to get down to the basics and to not look for fads and trends. Because if that's the case, every month I feel like there's a new trend or a new fad or something new to lose weight. And I feel like the basics work. The basics work. And don't forget that. Don't think it has to be all, you got to spend all this money and you got to go through all of these different classes. The basics works. The pavement is free. If you can't get to a gym, if you can't afford a gym membership, if your neighbor, I'm not saying put yourself in harm's way, but if your neighborhood is somewhat safe or there's a park near you that you can drive to, go and walk. Walk. When you drive to the grocery store, park at the end of the parking lot. When you're in a mall or work, try to take the stairs, you know, versus the elevator. There are so many things you can do to improve your health. And keep in mind, you guys know I'm a nurse. I always tell my patients, you know, sometimes I'll ask them what are their goals when it comes to their health and so forth. And many times it's losing weight. And I always, you know, try to stress to them because, I mean, I'm proud of them for recognizing that, you know, the weight is a contributor to a lot of health issues. But, you know, they have goals that are like, I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to lose 30 pounds. And that's great. I'm glad that they're reaching for that. But I do remind them 5 to 10 pound weight loss can make so many changes in your body. Can make so many changes. It can reduce your risk for diabetes. It can reduce your risk for cardiovascular disease. It can reduce your risk for high blood pressure, high cholesterol. It can reduce your risk, just those 5 to 10 pounds. I know a lady right now who came off of her metformin, which is a diabetic medication, after losing 10 pounds because she decreased what's known, what we call in the medical field, her hemoglobin A1C, which measures her blood sugar over a 3-month period. She reduced that by losing 10 pounds and by walking more and being more active in her community. She doesn't even go to a gym, you know. So start with the basics, guys. Is, you know, and that why is so important. I can't stress it enough. And that's why I'm kind of taking my time with this series, because I think it's important to really put thought to this, because it's what it's going to take. Because you're going to be faced with so many different things. When your body starts to change and you feel better on the inside and it starts to radiate on the outside, people are going to notice it. And you may notice friends that you've had are kind of like, you know, or you may notice you're getting more attention or less attention. There's going to be changes. So I think it's very important to go to the basics, to go to the why, and then to stick to the basics that work for losing weight and maintaining a healthy weight and a healthy body and a healthy mind. Because with all of these trends and fads, I feel like they are driving people crazy. People are literally, you know, all these diet pills and energy drinks and all of those things, you know, if that's what works for you, it works for you. But I'm looking at long term. So I thank you guys for watching this part of the video, this part of the series. Thumbs up if you liked this video. Thumbs down if you didn't. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Leave comments. I love you. I love reading you guys' comments. I do appreciate them. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you. Bye.